The space station Verdanus Prime floated like a silver moon above a dying star. It was the heart of the Galactic Council, where 32 alien civilizations gathered to make decisions that shaped the galaxy. For the first time in history, a human was about to speak in the council chamber. Marcus Wynn stood alone in the docking bay. His black diplomatic suit was spotless. His posture was calm, but his eyes stayed sharp, always scanning, tall and quiet. Marcus didn't look like a typical ambassador. That was because he wasn't. 20 years ago, Marcus had been a soldier, special ops. He had walked through wars no one talked about. Now he carried words instead of weapons, but not because he was weak. He believed in peace, but he was ready for war if needed. Ambassador Wynn, a voice called. A small alien, green-skinned with long ears, bowed. The council is ready to receive Earth's proposal. Marcus nodded. Lead the way. They walked through tall glass corridors. Ships passed outside like quiet birds. Marcus's footsteps echoed in the silence. He was alone here, no human guards, no backup. Earth had sent him as a symbol of trust, or maybe as bait. The council chamber was massive, shaped like a circle. Every species had a seat. Some were tall and glowing, others were furry, armored, or floating in special tanks. All eyes turned to Marcus as he entered. Whispers filled the air. Is that the human? They sent only one? He looks soft. Marcus stood at the center podium. He placed his hands behind his back and spoke clearly. Members of the Galactic Council, Earth respectfully requests equal voting rights. We have met all requirements. We are ready to join this alliance as equals. A long silence followed. Then Chancellor Votak rose. He was tall and pale blue, his skin like glass. His eyes were black and cold. Leader of the Sarian Empire, one of the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. Earth is young, impulsive, Votak said, his voice sharp. You move too fast, you dream too big. The council must protect stability. Marcus met his eyes. Respectfully, Chancellor Earth has kept every promise. We ask only for fairness. Votak smiled, thin and cruel. Then let us speak privately, he said. A closed session. Just you and the senior counselors. We will decide your fate. The room stirred. Marcus didn't blink. Very well, he said. He followed them out. Votak and 5 others. No aides, no cameras, just stone walls and cold air. Something felt wrong. They entered a sealed chamber. The doors shut behind Marcus with a hiss. He was alone with them now. Votak stepped forward, too close. Tell me, human, he whispered. Do you really think you belong here? Marcus didn't answer. He stood still. Then it happened. A sudden pressure filled the air. Psychic energy slammed into Marcus like a wave. His vision blurred. Pain shot through his skull. He dropped to one knee, gasping. You are not ready, Votak said. Earth is not ready. Consider this a lesson. The others watched, silent and cold. Marcus collapsed. Darkness took him. The chamber lights dimmed. Votak turned to leave. Let Earth send another, he said. They left his body behind, in a hidden corner of the station. But Marcus Wynn wasn't done yet. Darkness. That was the first thing Marcus felt. Heavy, cold, endless darkness pressing in on every side. His body was frozen. His thoughts were slow. Pain echoed in waves through his head. Then came a spark, small, sharp, electric. A voice spoke inside his skull. Neural damage detected. Emergency reboot in progress. The words weren't real sound. They came from inside him. His neural backup system. A hidden implant. Earth's quiet insurance policy. The council didn't know Marcus was more than a diplomat. Long ago he had volunteered for experimental tech during his military service. Most people never came back from those missions. He had. Vitals stabilizing. Memory intact, motor function at 42%. Rebooting motion pathways. Marcus opened one eye, just barely. Blurred lights flickered above. The floor was cold steel. His muscles screamed when he tried to move. He was still alive. Slowly memory returned. The chamber, the tech. The psychic attack. They had assaulted him and left him here to die, hidden and forgotten. Marcus clenched his jaw. Not today. The implant fed energy into his muscles. Not much, but enough. He pushed himself up, inch by inch. Every movement was pain, but pain meant life. He looked around. The room was small, windowless. Walls of gray stone. A locked door. No cameras. No sign of help. He reached for his wrist. The smart band was gone. They had stripped him of everything but his clothes. Smart. No communicator, no tools, no weapons, but they forgot one thing. Marcus Wynn was the weapon. Using the implant's signal pulse, he scanned for power lines in the walls. A faint blue light glowed under one panel. He crawled to it, pulled off the cover with shaking fingers, and began to reroute the wires. 10 minutes later, the lights flickered. A door clicked open. He was free. Marcus moved through the narrow service tunnels beneath the station. Pipes hissed around him. The hum of engines vibrated through the walls. The implant ran diagnostics, healing his body step by step. He had 2 missions now: survive and expose the truth. But he needed allies. He couldn't take the council alone. After an hour of crawling, he found a maintenance hatch and opened it quietly. A hallway stretched ahead, empty. Then a voice called out behind him. "Don't move." Marcus turned slowly. A tall alien woman stood with a blaster aimed at his chest. She had 4 arms and bright red eyes. A rebel pilot. He recognized the uniform. "Name?" she asked. "Marcus Wynn, Earth Diplomat." She lowered the blaster just slightly. "You're supposed to be dead." "Not yet," Marcus said. A pause. Then she nodded. "Follow me." She led him through dark passages to a hidden room lit by soft blue screens. Another figure waited. An older human, hunched, wearing tools on his belt. "You brought him," the man said. "He's supposed to be council property." "Not anymore," the pilot replied. Marcus looked around. "You're not with the council." "No," the man said. "We're the ones they try to forget." "Good," Marcus said. "I'm going to bring the truth to light, but I'll need help." The pilot raised an eyebrow. "What did they do to you?" Marcus's eyes turned hard. "They tried to erase Earth, but they made a mistake." He looked up, fire returning to his voice. "They left me breathing." The hidden room was cramped, full of screens, tools, and wires. It smelled like old metal and burnt circuits. Marcus sat on a low bench, breathing slowly. His body still ached, but the pain was fading. His mind was clear now. The pilot handed him a cup of warm liquid. "Drink. Helps with the nerves." Marcus took a sip. Bitter, strong, alien, but it worked. The pilot sat across from him. "Name's Kyra. I used to fly transport ships before the council shut me out. They said I disrupted order." She smirked. "I just asked too many questions." The human engineer leaned against a wall. He looked tired, his face lined with years of quiet anger. "Call me Grayson," he said. "I fix what the council breaks. Used to work on Earth's first long-range ships. Got pushed out when we joined the Alliance. They wanted silence. I gave in static." Marcus nodded. "Glad you're both still here." He leaned forward. "I need to know what's really going on." "They'd attacked me." "Not with words." He used psychic force. "That's illegal without a full council vote." Kyra's eyes narrowed. "Then he's hiding something. Or he's planning something bigger." Grayson turned to a screen. "We've been tracking communication signals between Syrian officials. Encrypted. High level. We can't break them without council clearance." Marcus stood. "Then we get clearance." Kyra raised an eyebrow. "You planning to walk back into the council chamber?" "No," Marcus said. "I'm going to move like a ghost. They think I'm dead. Let's keep it that way." Grayson tapped a few keys. A map of Verdanus Prime lit up. The station was massive. Layers of government, defense, and hidden pathways. "There's a backup data core in the council archive wing. Off limits, but it stores surveillance logs, vote records, and emergency protocols." Marcus looked at the map. "Can you get me in?" Grayson smirked. "With the right tools, I can make the system think you're Vertak himself." Marcus smiled, for the first time since the assault. "Let's do it." That night, Marcus suited up. Not in his old armor. He didn't need it. He wore a tech cloak. Grayson had modified to bend light and block scanners. Quiet shoes. No weapons, just a neural link in his temple and his will to finish what he started. He moved through the maintenance tunnels, like a shadow. Every step was calculated. He passed under council chambers, power grids, and sleeping quarters. No one saw him. At one point, a patrol walked past. Tall, armored guards with long rifles. Marcus pressed flat against the wall. The cloak held. They passed without pause. Grayson's voice came through a small earpiece. "You're close. Archive wing ahead. Look for the red panel." Marcus found it disguised as a vent. He pried it open and slipped inside. The archive was quiet. Rows of databanks hummed softly. Blue lights blinked in the dark. Marcus connected his implant to the nearest terminal. A screen lit up. Downloading council records. Tracing vote patterns. Decrypting internal messages. He scanned the files. What he found made his blood run cold. Vertak had not only assaulted him, he had blocked Earth's vote rights for years through lies and falsified reports. Worse, he had manipulated other votes, shaped laws, silenced smaller species, all in the name of order. This wasn't about Earth. It was about control. Grayson's voice came back. "We got it. Let's get out." Marcus copied the files to a microchip and slipped back into the shadows. Back at the hideout, Kyra stared at the screen in disbelief. "He's been running the council like a dictatorship." Marcus nodded. "If I can get this evidence to the summit, Earth will be cleared, and Vertak will fall." Kyra grinned. "I'll fly you there." Grayson checked the chip. "We'll have to move fast. Once they know you're alive, they'll come hard." Marcus looked out the small window toward the glowing core of Verdani's prime. "They thought I was gone," he said. "But I'm awake now." He turned to them. "And I'm not leaving until the galaxy knows the truth." Marcus moved like a shadow through Verdani's prime. The modified cloak bent light around him, keeping him hidden from security drones and scanners. His path was dangerous, but he had no choice. The council believed he was dead. That was his advantage. Every step he took brought him closer to the truth, and closer to being hunted. Back in the hideout, Grayson and Kyra watched his location from their screens. "He's heading toward the central broadcast tower," Grayson said. "If he plugs in there, he can reach the entire council chamber. No filter. No edits." Kyra nodded. "We'll prep the ship. As soon as he transmits, we're moving. They won't let him walk out." Marcus slipped through a narrow access duct, then dropped silently into a dark hallway. Only emergency lights lit the path. The central broadcast tower was ahead. He moved fast but careful. His implant scanned for movement. A red alert flashed in his vision. Multiple hostiles, close range. Marcus pressed against the wall. Footsteps echoed. 3 security officers walked by. Alien, armored, armed. Not regular guards. These were council enforcers. Silent, deadly, sent by Vertak. One of them paused. Marcus held his breath. The officer turned toward the wall, scanned it with a device, but the light passed over Marcus without stopping. The cloak held. The officer moved on. Marcus exhaled and slipped around the corner. At the tower entrance, a security lock blinked red. He plugged in a stolen keycard. Grayson had forged. The light turned green. He entered quickly. The broadcast core was a tall room filled with glowing tubes and floating screens. This was where messages, votes, and orders were sent across the galaxy. It was a place of power and lies. Marcus knelt beside the main console and inserted the data chip with the stolen files. The screen lit up with a soft hum. Lines of code scrolled fast. Votes altered, voices deleted, messages forged. Furstock had used this place to silence truth and control fear. Not anymore. Marcus set the system to auto-broadcast the files at the start of the next council summit, only hours away. The proof would go live in the middle of Vertak's speech. He stood, ready to leave. But the door exploded inward. Enforcers rushed in, shouting in a harsh alien tongue. Blasters aimed. Marcus ran. He dived behind a console, rolled and sprinted for the emergency ladder. Shots sparked off the walls around him. He grabbed the rungs and climbed fast. A beam grazed his shoulder, burning hot pain, but he kept going. He reached the roof and rolled onto a catwalk. Wind from the ventilation fans roared around him. Below, more enforcers entered the room. He tapped his earpiece. "Kyra, I need pickup now." Kyra was already moving. Her ship, small and fast, launched from the hidden hangar. Grayson sat in the back, holding tools and wires tight. "Picking up heat on the scanners," Kyra said. "We've got company." 3 council drones locked onto them. She flipped a switch and dove low. The ship spun through the station's outer rings. Blast shook the hull. "Marcus, I need you at the South Tower window," Kyra shouted. Marcus ran across the catwalk, down a maintenance hatch, through a storage bay. He kicked open a sealed door and stepped onto a narrow ledge. Below him, open sky and endless stars. He looked up. Kyra's ship appeared like a silver arrow. She lowered the landing ramp. "Jump." Marcus didn't hesitate. He ran, leaped, and hit the ramp hard. Kyra pulled him in as blaster fire rained down. The doors sealed. The ship blasted away into space. In the back, Grayson patched Marcus's shoulder while Kyra steered through debris. "You get the files in?" Grayson asked. Marcus nodded. "They'll go live during the summit. Everyone will see what Vitak's done." Kyra looked back. "Then we've started something big." Marcus sat back, breathing heavy. "Let them come," he said. "We're not running. We're heading straight into the fire." The grand hall of the Galactic Council glowed with cold silver light. High above, a dome of glass showed the stars spinning slowly in space. Alien leaders filled the seats, speaking in quiet tones, waiting for the summit to begin. At the center, Chancellor Vitak stood tall and calm. His blue skin shimmered under the lights. His black eyes scanned the room. He smiled. The human ambassador was gone. The last piece of resistance had been erased. Today he would speak of peace, order, and control, and Earth would be forgotten. Outside the station, Kyra's ship flew silently through a hidden access tunnel. The ship's lights were off. The council's scanners didn't detect them yet. Inside, Marcus stood in front of a small mirror. He wore his suit again, cleaned and patched. His eyes were clear, his face calm, but inside he burned. "You sure about this?" Kyra asked from the cockpit. "They need to see me," Marcus said. "Alive, unbroken." Grayson handed him a slim metal disc. "Once you're in the chamber, press this. It will activate the transmission." Marcus nodded and placed it under his collar. Kyra slowed the ship as they reached a maintenance bay below the council hall. "Doors open in 60 seconds, she said. "This is it." Marcus looked at both of them. "Thank you for standing with me." Grayson gave a half smile. "Make it count." Marcus stepped off the ship into the shadows. Inside the council chamber, Vitak raised his arms to speak. "Fellow leaders," he said, "today we turn away from chaos. Earth has shown itself to be unstable, unpredictable, and unfit for equal power. We must protect the order we have built." A loud sound cut through the air. A door opened. All eyes turned. Marcus Wynn walked into the center of the chamber. Gasps, shouts, fear, confusion. Vitak's smile vanished. "You," he hissed. "I was told I wasn't ready," Marcus said, his voice calm but strong. "That Earth didn't belong here. But today I bring the truth." He pressed the disc. The lights dimmed. The air shimmered. Above him a giant screen lit up. Streaming files, images and voice logs. Recordings of the psychic assault. Forged council votes. Vitak's secret messages. Everything. The chamber fell silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Then, slow murmurs. Shock. Anger. One delegate stood. "Is this real?" Another shouted. "This is a violation of every law we've written." A third turned to Vitak. "Phew. Lied to all of us." Vitak's hands shook. His voice rose in fury. This is manipulation. A human trick. He's dangerous. He drew a thin blade of energy and lunged at Marcus. Marcus didn't flinch. He moved just fast enough, grabbed Vitak's arm, twisted and sent him crashing to the floor. The weapon clattered away. Marcus stepped back. I could hurt you, he said softly. But I won't. That's the difference between us. Security rushed in. Council guards now surrounded Vitak, not to protect him, but to take him away. The chamber echoed with voices rising, calling for investigation, justice and change. Marcus stood in the center, quiet, watching it unfold. He had done what he came to do. Later Marcus stood at the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Kyra joined him. You did it, she said. He nodded. Earth has a voice now. A real one. Grayson appeared with a small case. They offered you a seat at the High Council. Marcus shook his head. Let someone else sit. I've done my part. He looked out into the galaxy. There's still a lot of work to do. But today, we took the first step. Days passed. Verdanus Prime no longer felt like a fortress. It felt like a place holding its breath, waiting for change. Marcus stood before the council one last time. This time, the seats were full and silent. No one whispered about Earth. No one questioned his right to speak. He didn't shout. He didn't preach. His voice was calm and steady. I didn't come here to threaten anyone, he said. I came to tell the truth. And now the truth is in your hands. Earth is not perfect, but we've earned our place, not because of our power, because of our courage to speak up when it mattered. He paused, scanning the room. You were told we were dangerous, that we didn't belong. But you were lied to. Now you have a choice. Keep repeating that lie, or start something new. Then he stepped back and said no more. The council voted that day, not just on Earth's position. They voted to investigate all of Vitak's actions, to create new rules for fairness, to give every member, not just the oldest or strongest, a real voice. Earth received full status, equal vote, equal voice, equal respect. After the vote, Marcus walked the station's garden ring. Tall glass trees bent gently in the artificial breeze. He stood alone for a moment, finally letting go of the weight he had carried since the assault. Kira walked up behind him. They're offering you a permanent post, she said. Ambassador, military advisor, even security chief. Marcus smiled. I don't want a title. She looked at him, confused. Then what do you want? He looked out at the stars. To go home. Marcus boarded a shuttle bound for Earth. As the ship rose, he looked back at Verdanus Prime. It no longer looked like a cold machine. It looked like a chance. A new beginning. Grayson had stayed behind, helping a new team of engineers rebuild the Council's tech network. Kira was already planning her next mission, flying supplies to frontier worlds where the Council had once turned a blind eye. Marcus was going where he had always wanted to be, not just Earth, but peace. He had fought. He had survived. And now he could rest. As the stars stretched outside the shuttle windows, Marcus closed his eyes and breathed deep. They had tried to silence him, but he spoke. They had tried to break him, but he stood. Now, the galaxy was watching and listening.